I'm Peter Loshak. This is the odds update show that we're going to do every Friday with Joe Duffy, kind of a bookend show to our Monday opening lines odds show, where we're going to take a look at which lines have moved, what we think about those moves, and which lines haven't moved, and maybe what we think about those lines that haven't moved. Joe, thanks so much for doing this show with us.
Thank you, Peter. You're right, bookend, because we're going to end the books.
Right. Okay. A bookend show to kill the books. All right. Let's say these are Friday afternoon lines, and obviously the biggest move was what? KC Tennessee total, right? It opened 41.5. Now it's 38.5, and people are expecting this to be a very low-scoring game. And I previewed this game with Tony George. Tony George even said his pick on the game was under, even at 38.5. He thinks it's going to be a 17-13 type game. So I'm looking at this. My thoughts on this game are, teaser, teaser, teaser on Tennessee. But what do you make of that line move?
Yeah, and the line moves actually vary because there's an opening line that's put out by Bet Online, and a couple of the books in Vegas kind of piggyback off of that, but it's got a low limit. And then there's the widely available line,
right,
which you're actually quoting. But yeah, Tennessee, Ryan Fitzpatrick, pretty solid quarterback, but they were making so much progress under Jake Locker. I think a lot of people were expecting Tennessee's offense to take a step back. So I can see why that line has gone down, and I would probably, if anything, go with that move. But I will say it's very unlikely they'll have a premium play on it.
Right, but if you gave premium plays on teasers, Tennessee as a home dog of 2.5 points with a total of 38.5, that's got to be premium play teaser of the year, right?
Yes, no, as we were predicting early in the week, because Kansas City has played so well, the public's going to enjoy betting them. But Kansas City, they haven't really gone undefeated against a tough schedule whatsoever. So if there's one team that's undefeated that you can question their opponents, it's definitely the Kansas City Chiefs. So I would agree with you.
Right, and then the rest of the moves this week haven't been too huge. One of them that we did discuss on Monday that I expect to move that did move is Houston. Houston definitely came off the 7. They're now 6 at Pinnacle, 5 at Bookmaker, but clearly they are off the 7, and I think that was the right move.
Yeah, but if anything, I know there's some software out there where they say they can predict the line moves. I've got some metrics I've been using over the years, and I expect the public to come back on Houston. So if you do
you
want
San
Houston,
Francisco?
probably bet them now. No, I think there's some sharp money between now and then is going to be bet on Houston, according to some of the metrics that I have. But yeah, but Colin Kaepernick has done very well against the blitz, and that's what Houston does do. So, San Francisco might be my play, but I think that the public will actually bet Houston.
All right, and then a second line that I thought might move, but now I'm realizing why it wouldn't, was the Jets line, the Atlanta line. That's holding at 9.5, and that might be, I've heard some good cases that Atlanta might be a good bet even at that number, and that might be another great game to tease as well, down to 3 or 2.5 even.
Yeah, I would agree with that because the Falcons are struggling this year, but they've lost to 3 quality opponents. Here is a perfect chance to take out the frustrations on an inferior team. Yeah. So yeah, the Falcons have a terrible record, but it's not like they've been losing to teams like the Jets.
Right, so the Jets did not take significant money. One team that did, apparently, I'm looking at is Philly. The Giants opened at -3. Now it's down to like -1, and that's not a juiced -1. That's a solid -1. And I previewed this game with, I think it was Tony George as well. He said he likes Philly, and, I'm starting to come around. I'm thinking maybe that line move is also correct.
Well, one of the reasons is because the Giants might be without 3 of their best defensive backs. Right. And against that Philadelphia offense, I think that has to do with both the money move, but the odds makers anticipating a lot of people would be betting money on Philadelphia because of the Giants' defensive back injuries. But no, I'm not impressed by the Eagles. So if anything, I like the Giants here.
Okay, and then a move that I don't think would surprise anyone. Denver taking money. They're now up to 7 juiced or 7.5. So that has come pretty clearly off of the 7. That's one of these. Look, if you gave me a free bet right now, I'd be betting on Denver in this game. But I could see that Dallas as a home dog of a touchdown being something the sharps would make a case for. But not at all surprised by the movement on that game.
Yeah, I saw a tweet from Sonny Vaccaro, one of the veteran odds makers in Vegas, and this was maybe Tuesday or Wednesday. He said the next bet that he gets on Dallas will be his first bet. As we talked about all along, the public likes betting superior teams. Denver, the way they're playing right now, nobody wants to bet against them. Everyone's going to want to bet on them, but that line has gotten up there pretty high. I don't expect too much sharp money to go on Denver at the current price, but yeah, they were certainly betting on them early.
Right, you have to think if it was going to come in, it was going to come in when it was at 7 flat. And then the only other moves that caught my eye were 2 moves to the over, small moves. New Orleans, Chicago moved from 47.5 to 48.5, and then Detroit, Green Bay opened at 52. Now it's up to 53.5, even slightly juiced to the over at 53.5. But when I previewed this game in my preview this week, I'm thinking both these teams are looking like they're going to score 27. So I think I'd take the over even at 53.5.
Yeah, no, I'm one of those people that had some question marks about New Orleans, whether their offense was truly going to be back, whether it was because of Sean Payton or whether they were getting old. But based on what they've done this year, the old Saints offense is most definitely back. And, whether or not Jay Cutler's for real, that's a debate that we keep having for years and years. But, yeah, these are 2 high-powered offenses. It's clear the Saints offense is for real. So I don't expect too much money to come in the under. If anything, it might continue to go up.
All right, Joe, those are all the major line moves that I'm seeing. The rest of the lines didn't move that much. Are any of those non-movements surprising you?
I did mention on Monday where I thought that the public was going to bet Seattle. Seattle's maybe a notch or 2 below Denver as far as the way they're playing and the public being in love with them. But then again, in hindsight, I was wrong. Indianapolis is a pretty strong home dog, so I think that's why the public didn't bet Seattle the way I thought they would.
Right. This is only a Friday afternoon, though, and of course, a lot of that big public action does come in on Sunday right before game day, so that still could happen. We will see. Thanks so much, Joe Duffy, and I'll talk to you Monday for the Week 6 openers.